Today, we're going to be breaking down how you can be a shifty wide receiver. So we're going to take a look at this first move here from Justin Jefferson. We're going to talk about the mechanics of this move called a rocker step. But honestly, this can help you guys out with any type of crossover move that you use off the line of scrimmage or top of the route. So a rocker step, you guys, if you're not familiar, I'll give a quick little recap, and then we'll talk about the details of this movement. So a rocker step is essentially like a 1-2 at the top of the break that you see Jefferson do right here. So you step in the direction that you are going first, and then you fake to the inside like we're going to be running a post route, like we're going to run an in route to get this DB to jump, and then we break on this out. You could obviously do it the opposite way. So like, let's say, for example, he's running a post here. He could step with his inside foot first and then fake with his outside foot. So it's a 1-2 at the top of the break. Now, the whole purpose of this video is to talk about how you guys can be a shiftier wide receiver, how you can make faster cuts, smoother cuts, and make DBs miss. So one of the things that a lot of wide receivers don't do on this rocker step is they neglect this first step, or they try to overdo the first step. Guys, this first step of the movement is not like an unimportant step. A lot of people get so focused on, oh, I have to step so far with the second step, I got to sell the movement with the second step, that they forget the first move is what gives the second move speed and explosion and actually helps you step outside of a DB's frame to sell that. And we'll talk about that as this video goes on. But so this first part of the rocker step, you guys, this is a meaningful step. We're trying to make this route look like a post route or a dig. So we got to cut off of this foot or make it look like I'm trying to cut off of that foot normal. But that foot, we have to shoot that thing into the grass, and it has to be inside of my body frame, aka just slightly at the absolute most outside of your shoulder frame. Now, the reason why you want to shoot this into the ground and you want it inside of your frame is because the goal is to push off of the middle arch / ball of your foot into the second move, guys. It's almost like a springboard, if you will. So when he shoots this foot in the ground, you see how he's not reaching super far. A lot of guys on a rocker step, they'll try to overdo both moves because they're trying to just get too fancy with it. And when you guys step super wide and reach way outside your body frame, like let's say his foot made contact right here where I drew this circle, that would put him on his heel first, then his toes would slap down, he'd have no push. His second step would actually be shorter than the first step. So guys, the first step has to shoot into the grass, so now I can push off of it. Now I can push and actually sell like I'm running a post route. I can bring my hip with the foot. My hips and my shoulders can turn, so that 1-2 is a little bit faster, more explosive, and makes us a little bit more shiftier, as the title of the video, at the top of the break. So anytime I'm using that rocker step, you guys, that first step matters. We are shooting it into the ground, normal step, but make sure we push off of it so I can sell to the inside and get some space, okay? So now, the next thing we're going to be talking about is foot strike. How should I be striking the ground when I'm doing a release, when I'm working a speed cut, when I'm working a single cut, a rocker step? What part of my foot needs to hit the ground? Now, before we break this down, you guys, if you're a wide receiver or a quarterback and you would like to get a custom workout plan from me, check out that very first link in the description below for our new custom quarterback and wide receiver workout plan. What you will be able to do is you will be able to submit film to myself, and what the film will be is either game film, practice film. We give you instructions of what kind of angles that we want to see as well. But you'll submit the film to me. I'll take a look at the film. I'll give a breakdown of the film, just like what I'm doing right now on these clips, tell you where you need to improve. And then I will give you an 8-week-long custom workout plan with drills and gym workouts. It'll be an 8-week field plan and an 8-week gym plan with the exact field workouts, gym exercises to improve the weak points of your game based on the film that we have. We are super excited to offer this to you guys. So if that's something of interest, fellas, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to get all of you on that and help you guys out the best we possibly can. So again, very first link in that description below. Let's get back to this video. So now when it comes to foot strike, so let's watch this example here, excuse me, from Sterling Shepard. So he's running this like speed cut dig, one step out of that thing, right? I think everybody watching this could agree that that is a very, very fast and shifty cut right there. So how is he able to do that? How is he able to cut at that kind of speed, right? So a lot of people are very, very hesitant, you guys. You know, I see it all the time, right? Like on social media, there'll be a new wide receiver account that'll pop up, or a wide receiver video that'll pop up, or one of my videos that'll pop up, because we've been consistent for a very, very long time. So we've seen a lot of stuff, right? And every time, I kid you not, every time. There's a guy who posts something about cutting hard, snapping down, speed cuts. In the comments, there's always 10 people. Oh, I'm going to hurt my ACL. Oh, it's going to hurt my knee, all this stuff, right? And again, maybe they need to do a better job clarifying of how to properly cut in those videos so people aren't as turned off by it. But guys, you're not going to hurt yourself if you have the proper foot strike. So if you're trying to make cuts fast, trying to cut hard, cut fast, like some of the best guys do, your foot strike's important. So watch how Sterling Shepard cuts here. So many wide receivers, when they cut, they over-exaggerate their cuts. Like we were talking about in that Justin Jefferson example. Even when it's off of 1 foot, they will reach way outside their frame. They'll drag their back foot, but the first part of their foot to hit the ground is their heel because they essentially almost lean back. Guys, when you reach outside your frame, think of it like running. When you guys are running, you're not reaching super far and striking outside your frame when you're trying to run fast. You're striking underneath yourself. You're hitting the ball of the foot and shooting your opposite knee up and your opposite toe up. Anybody that's ever ran track or has seen a legitimate speed coach knows about that, right? So same thing when you cut, you guys. When you're cut hard into the ground, I'm not trying to reach way outside my frame. I'm trying to shoot my cleats down into the grass. Now, notice how Sterling Shepard, his whole entire foot's down. That's what I want. Don't misread me and say that I want you guys to try to cut on your toes. That will be impossible to do. If you try to cut and your heel's off the ground and you're running as hard as he is in this example, you will have no balance and you will not be able to cut. You will freaking drift forward or take a million steps at the break point. So don't take me as like, oh, I want you to be on your tippy toes. You want your whole foot down, but the first part of your foot to hit the ground is the ball of your foot. Notice how I didn't say tippy toes either. I said ball of the foot. It's ball of the foot, then heel. And your weight should always be distributed slightly forward on that ball of the foot. That makes the cut safe, and that will help us make those quote-unquote shiftier cuts while also being safe. So guys, on any cut, whether it's a move off the line of scrimmage, whether it's a single cut on a post, a dig, whether it's a speed cut where you can round it, a rocker step, the first part of the foot that hits is the ball of the foot. That's the most explosive part of the foot, so when I hit the ground, I can also push out and get some separation from that DB, okay? So now, this is going to be a move called an open field crossover. Now, I would be doing you guys a disservice if I didn't talk about how the upper body will get you as much space as your lower body, right? Everybody talks about the foot placement, the different steps at the top of the break. But guys, a DB, linebacker, strong safety, whoever, when he's in man-to-man coverage and you were trying to make him miss, even if you're a running back coming out and running an option route, where is he supposed to be watching? He's going to be watching our hips, right? So if he's watching my hips, I have to be able to sell my different releases, my moves, my open field moves. Even when I got the ball in my hands and I'm running after the catch, I have to be able to sell it with my hips and with my upper body. So let's talk about how you can do that here. Let's look at this move from Davante Adams. He used this move called an open field crossover. So that looks a lot like a basketball move. He ultimately drops this pass. Ball was thrown a little bit behind, but I just think, honestly, maybe wasn't ready for it because it's not like him to drop these types of passes. So ignore the drop, right? Let's talk about the crossover move, right? So when he hits this open field crossover, this could apply, guys, to a rocker step. This could apply to a crossover move off the line or one in open field like this. But watch what happens. So you see his first step. Looks a lot like Justin Jefferson's rocker step, right? Inside of his frame, not stepping super far, and he is going to push off of this step. And look how far he pushes. You see how far he steps outside this DB's frame. Now, a lot of you will say, well, you don't want to step that far outside of DB's frame because you're not going to have any explosion or balance out of the cut. Not if you bring your upper half. So something I tell my wide receivers to do a lot of is when we were selling a cut, you want to try to keep your head even with your knee. If you can bring your head with your knee, that foot's not going to get too far outside your body frame. I will also say pretend your hip is attached to your foot because when your head and your hip move simultaneously with this leg, you can put yourself in an explosive position and to be able to drive out because you see how he's got a little knee bend. And also you could step far enough to be able to sell this move to get the DB to jump. So that open field crossover, guys, if you can pretend your hip and your head is attached with your knee and your foot, what that will do is that will bring your body with the cut, and that will also bring your hips with the cut, and a DB who's watching our hips is more likely to bite. So many receivers will do these types of moves, you guys, and their hips do not move. They will like lean with their head and their shoulders and do all this stupid movement. You want to throw your hip. You want to throw your head with your knee, and that's going to help you sell this movement a little bit more and get more separation to make those quote-unquote shiftier cuts.